Good morning, everyone. How are you on this wonderful Saturday morning? I am looking forward to going outside and watering my plants, and let's have some coffee together this morning. Here comes baby boy. I'm really glad to hear that and see that. I could hear his little pitter patter. You want to come up? 1, 2. But he is still. Well, you're the one that wanted to come up. He's still not feeling him's normal. Hims can't talk. You want to tell him a story first? Okay. Oh, you got belchies? Did you just eat brekkie? Okay. So, him's not feeling still his normal self, and his stomach is just like a brick, and it's not, of course, supposed to be that way. So, I may have to end up taking him in, but he's acting okay. He still plays with his toys. He ate okay this morning. He went outside okay, but he is not feeling well, and I'll show you how I know. So he stood there this morning on the carpet in that position, licking his lips for about 25 minutes, you guys. And I would talk to him and try to get him to move, but I didn't want to force him. Kind of wanted to see if it's like doggy dementia or something, but now that I'm feeling his tummy, I'm thinking it's more than that. I don't know. And then he went from there when I got the camera out and I took that picture. He hates the camera, and so I guess if I ever want my puppy to move, I need to get the camera out. But then he went over and laid by the door, and that's him laying by the door. And that's where he's been until he heard me talking just now and he came over. And so, and now he's shivering. I don't know if y'all can see him just shaking. Can y'all see that? See, I don't know if y'all can see that or not because he's a little bit off camera and I don't want to make him move too much. There. I just want to hold you better, okay? I just want to hold you better. Anyway, I'll see about getting my puppy taken care of today. I don't know what to do and I don't know what's wrong. He just got through with all of his medications for, maybe that's it, I don't know, but he just got through with all of his medications for being sick and he was doing so good and then he just took a dive. And so I don't know what's wrong with my baby boy, but we'll find out. So, that's what's going on here this morning. Last night I couldn't go to sleep right away and I have some things on my mind about work and travel and all of that. Let's see, where does this go? Does it go here? Oh, it goes over here. Okay. God, my hair is out of control right now. And so when I do that, and we talked about morning routines yesterday, and I usually journal and do prayer and meditation in the morning. I'm so off my routine that I haven't been doing a lot of that. I've been doing it at night, which is backwards for me. But that's what I did when I couldn't sleep last night. And again, my hair is just out of control, and I apologize for that. So I wanted to share with you something that I learned last night that I really wish that I had learned 60 years ago. I don't know, we hear things when we can hear them. Good grief. And then when I'm looking in the camera, I can't tell which way's what. But we learn things when we're in a place where we can hear them. And I've probably heard this before, but it landed so hard, so deep, and filled my soul with peace last night that I thought I'd share it with you today. So, people pleasing, we all do it, and there's nothing wrong with people pleasing in certain circumstances. If you are doing something because you want to please someone and do something for someone. I've got a neighbor who's sick, and I've been realizing that I haven't really touched base with her since she came home from the hospital, and I need to do that. And that will be people pleasing, but it is conscious, it is kind, it is what I want to do. People pleasing, when people use it in kind of a, I don't like the word negative connotation, but that when it's not healthy for you to, for us as individuals to be a people pleaser, that's the kind of people pleasing I'm talking about today. And people had always said, you told me, and I've always heard that you people please be so that people will like you. You know, you overdo it. That's the kind of the definition, and you may have your own definition, but I've always heard that. And I'm like, it's not that I want people to like me because I like myself. It's not that I do things just so people will like me. That's never quite fit for me. But there was something about that people pleasing that had a sense of urgency, a sense of intensity for me at times. And I've never been able to understand it. Knowing my childhood, if you've read my books, you know probably something about that. And I knew it probably had something to do with that. But I have been through decades of therapy for my childhood and have integrated all of that abuse and everything. And so I was like, I just never could figure it out. And then last night, trying to find some readings and everything that would help me get process through the things that I'm working through, this popped up. And it just blew me away. And so I thought I'd share it with you today. And one thing that I thought that, hi baby, I'm just showing my cards. One thing that I do is, I don't know if y'all do that, but I make note cards and I have a bin and it's over in Phoenix right now. So I'm going to bring that actually to the casita. It is a bin of the note cards that I make of things that really land with me. And every now and then I'll pull that out and go through that. And I was wishing I had it last night, so I need to bring that over. And then I ended up making some note cards. And so I hope this helps someone today. I'm sharing it because it is probably a life changer for me and something that I wish I had discovered years ago. Baby boy, I wish you could relax. I love him so much. He's been through so much, and that's one reason why it hurts my heart so much when he hurts. We all do, right? When our puppies do. Our babies, whatever they may be, furry, feathered, whatever, our scaly, whatever our babies are, the human, I'm not discounting just regular motherhood. We hurt when they hurt. So anyway, all right, baby, I'm going to share this with them, okay? All right. Do you want down? Will I do that? No, you don't know. You don't know what you want. See, and he does this licking and everything, but he's not throwing up. So I don't know what's going on with him. Enough of that. So I want to share, first of all, that everything that I'm sharing with you today, let me put him down, comes from Amy, the life coach. You go to your bed. I'm going to put him on his bed. Y'all hang on a minute. Come here, baby. Let's go get on your bed. Okay? Get on your bed. I know. Stay there. So that'll be better. So I don't know if y'all just saw me in my pajama shorts or not. No, I think I've already changed because I'm going outside after this. But anyway, it comes from Amy, the life coach. And it's about not abandoning yourself, and it's about emotional safety. And I am learning more and more that most everything I do in my life, from the moment I open my eyes until the moment I'm able to go to sleep, for me, is about emotional safety. And when I react to things inappropriately, when I feel good, I'm feeling emotionally safe. It's for me, that's such a huge trigger. And that this caught my and I'm learning that. So this caught my eye when it came up, emotional safety. And it says it won't come from being understood. It comes from knowing when you won't abandon yourself when you're not. And I'm like, that's that's a lot of la hoofy stuff, whatever you call it, about not abandoning yourself. But that thing about won't come from being understood. It has always been important to me for people to understand where I'm coming from. And I've never known why. Again, it wasn't exactly people pleasing. it hasn't been because I want them to I need them to understand me because I'm right or whatever, all of that stuff. It was never that. And this is why. It just was mind blowing for me, and also, that wanting people to understand you is so you can sometimes convince. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons, or that you can get on the same page, or that you because it's a loved one and you want them to know you. And but mine has been to an unhealthy degree, and I've never understood why until last night. So, emotional safety isn't from being seen, heard, and perfectly understood, although that is in many ways rung true for me. And of course, you won't always feel fully gotten, and it should be okay. Now, this is not to excuse bad behavior and go, oh, that's just me, or they don't understand me, so screw them. There are times when people can give you messages of things that we need to grow on and change and reflect on and become a better person from. So, this isn't a way, I'm not offering this from Amy, the life coach, as a way to discount when people don't understand you. It's not that. And I'll go into more in a moment. So, it is, if your safety depends on that, you'll constantly feel like you're losing your footing. You guys, I my life is so grounded in so many ways, and I believe in Coco NMWO dat. Keep on keeping on no matter what, one day at a time. You all know that. I believe in being positive. I love my life. I love the people in my life. I am so blessed. And I'm constantly feel like I am on unstable ground. And I have never been able to understand that. I am learning my quest this year, since going through a traumatic experience, is to understand myself, why I put myself in situations that I shouldn't. And a lot of it has to do with the emotional intensity inside I feel. And I've learned that I am an anxious attachment style person. And I'll share more about that. If you want, let me know in the comments whether you do or not. But if it's something that I feel in my heart, I will probably share at some point. So there's that anxious style attachment, and mine goes a little bit uber on that as well. My title today is um, people pleasing on steroids. That would probably be an anxious attachment style on steroids, and there are some things. Sub labels for that, and I fit in one of them, and we can talk about that another time. Mm. Need lots of coffee this morning. Anyway, so I constantly feel like I'm on loose footing or losing my footing. And she says, for many trauma survivors, feeling misunderstood feels like a threat. I would say that for many, period. Probably also trauma survivors, in a parentheses, feel misunderstood when feeling being misunderstood feels like a threat. Not because it is one. Of course, it's not one. And I've never been able to understand that. I'm a pretty savvy, smart cookie. But it's like, why does not being understood make me panic so much? It's just like, oh my God. It's like, this can be a bad neighborhood to be in sometimes, and I want out. And I'm learning so much, and I hope that it helps somebody. But when you were in the past, when you were misunderstood, it led to punishment. And that can be different for everybody. The punishment that leaves a scar. That some kids can be sent to their room, and it doesn't hurt them. Some kids, you send them to their room, and it destroys them. It absolutely guts them and makes them mental. And so the punishment is however it landed with you. For me, yeah, getting beaten, getting locked in closets, being abandoned for days with no food, literally. Um, yeah, I've come to accept and can say out loud, tortured. Just that punishment is what I go. It's whatever makes you go inside. It wasn't a good form of punishment, and of course, mine certainly wasn't. And anyone suffering any level of abuse like that, it wasn't. But where it led to disconnection. Maybe your caretakers or significant others or any time in your past, they go silent on you, they ghost you, they whatever. And so when you were misunderstood, that happened. That can lead to future, current, present going, "Ugh, I'm being misunderstood," or blame. How dare you do that because they didn't understand you. And so, and especially as a child, and you grow up and you start thinking, if I can only get them to understand, then they won't punish me, they won't disconnect from me, and they won't blame me. And I just went, oh, this is getting deep. And is this too deep for y'all for morning coffee? Y'all can tell me. I'll probably still do what I want to do, but y'all can tell me whether or not you're like, yeah, don't do this again. Put a little whiskey in your coffee. You'll be fine. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay, so now the moment someone doesn't fully understand you, your nervous system panics. And that is what I have always felt. And I've always been like, what the hell's going on with me? Because I know I'm overreacting, over panicking, over intensifying and everything but I couldn't figure it out. And so I either over explain, I get real nervous. I did this with the inspection team for the casitas because it's the acting board president. It's these guys that have this control, and they were great guys. It wasn't them, it was me. And so I'm like, blah, 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 blah. I get all nervous and everything. It's just I could hear myself and see myself, and I'm like, slow down, Deb. And she offers some things on helping with that in a minute. But to over explain, over function, which is what I did, or shut down completely. And I can't tell you how many times in my life I get so scared, or have, not anymore. All of the therapy over my childhood helped with that. But I would constantly shut down, constantly. And I mean, fetal position, the world doesn't exist, shut down. And there's varying levels of shutting down. And so I just thought this was really profound. And then your body. So I've also am learning that feelings, these emotions are felt in the body. The mind is the thoughts and the mental, and can create physical reactions in the body, but we feel in our body. And so that panic is about your body remembering what being misunderstood used to mean. You weren't safe. I certainly wasn't. Oh, good Lord. I lived for 15 years of my life and then carried it on into that. But I remember by age 4 or 5, knowing how to wake up and read the house and whether I was safe or not. And, and it took people pleasing to a different level. It put that on steroids. And then being misunderstood on top of that, in addition to that, you just, if you're not safe, your life, and especially when you're young, your life feels like it's constantly being threatened. And you learn that panic feeling, just carry it with you all the time. And I'm learning, man, I need to let that go. I've worked through all the mental stuff, the emotional stuff, but I think things are still stuck in my body. That's what I'm learning. Anyway, you weren't believed. Nothing you could say or do could convince anybody to believe you, and you were made to feel like you're the problem. I was the scapegoat in our house. It's like, what, why did you do that? What is wrong with you? I had thought that my autobiography would be Something's Wrong with Deborah, because it was kind of the catchphrase around my house, something's wrong. What is wrong with you? You can be anything you want to be. What the hell's wrong with you? You're so pretty. What the hell's wrong with you? Why are you crying? Well, it could be because my bruises hurt from where you just beat me the other day. But it was an insane environment I grew up with. And so all of this landed with me, and it's going to land with each of you differently, and it might not land at all. But if you were misunderstood, it used to mean, or could be, if you're feeling panic as an adult, that before you weren't safe, you weren't believed, you were made to feel like the problem. And I just want to say now, while I'm on this too, that a lot of people are of the school, buck up, get over it, move on. I will tell you, you can do that to a certain degree, and you need to a certain degree. But I am, I'm not a big fan of mental malpractice, emotional malpractice, or not allowing things to process, not allowing grief to take as long as it needs to take to be able to dissipate and process through. And I think as a society as a whole, especially anymore, we're all about ain't nobody got time for that. Let's move on. Let's get over it. And that has changed. I think in the 50s and 60s, and it and certainly before that, but 50s and 60s was, children were meant to be seen and not heard. You bucked up and you got over it, and you had to stuff it, and then it just has evolved over time to where now it's ain't nobody got time for that. No parent wants to sit with their child, or not. No, I know there's a lot of wonderful parents out there, but the pace is so hectic. And so either way, I am not a fan of stuffing things and moving on. It comes out somehow, some way, whether it's in your health or whatever. And I've also observed that people that don't take time to process, that don't take time to grieve, that don't allow for those things, and I'm not saying wallow, there's a difference. But allowing the time that it takes to get through something, and I mean really through it, so that it can be released and you can let go and move on. They often don't live large lives, and often have just a real almost toxic bubble around them. And I that is not in judgment, because everybody handles life the best way you can, right? But for me, I don't want to live like that. I want to be free, and I want all that stuff gone, and I want to live large and have truly happy, joyous, and free, not just making it through the day, but just tasting the flavor of life on every level. And for me, if I've got stuff inside me that is impeding with my joy throughout the day, like this anxiety over being understood, then that you're missing out on. I'm missing out on some life and joy and happiness and living large. And so for me, I have to process it through until I can absolutely let it go. And I think for everyone, that timeline is different. So if yours is taking longer, be gentle with yourself. If someone you love, it's taking longer for them, be gentle with them. And let's see what's next. I think I've already said that one, right? Let me make sure. Yes, I've already said that. And that not everyone gets you, of course. And it means you can stay with yourself even when they don't. And again, I was like, oh, that's that pooey poo stuff. But then she went on, and I was like, oh, I get it now. Here's what staying with yourself sounds like. I know what I meant. Now, that doesn't mean, like I said earlier, that doesn't mean that you get to go, well, I know what I meant. Screw them if they can't get it. And no, it doesn't mean that. And to me, I mean, you can adopt that attitude with anything, but I encourage you not to. And there are people that are going to, but it's if you can say, they are judging me, they didn't understand me, this didn't go well, but I know what I meant, and I did no harm. For me, that's the main thing. There's enough harm in the universe. I don't want to put more harm out there. And then it also sounds like my experience is still valid. I've got a neighbor that last night he was out doing the clanging of the rocks, and I had Sammy over here, and it scared her to death. She hates gunfire or fireworks, and this does sound like rifles because his rocks are so big, and he's learned how to clang them in a way that sounds like a rifle. And I did do a complaint after a confrontation where he came to my lot, four lots in between us, and he came to my lot. And I'll just be honest, for the most part, pretty much the Bubbas took up for the Bubbas. And it was very disappointing for me. And I will make sure that if anything else happens, I get it on video. This was not a matter of he said, she said, and Bubba's win. But that's okay. I this is where I can move on because I know what I meant and what I said was my truth. My experience is still valid. And then the third thing she says is, I don't need to convince them to trust my truth. Oh, that just lets so much out. Now, am I going to continue to let my dogs, Sammy and Bandit, be terrorized? No. Am I going to allow someone to come to my lot and confront me? No. I will continue to take care of business. But in the meantime, this helped this that she put up helped me so much with letting go of the anxiety from not being understood. You guys, y'all may not have that mental problem. I've suffered with it my whole life. And she took that away from me last night. I know I'm going to have to still work on it, but it's like they can think what they want to think. I did no harm. I have no malice in my heart. My side of the street is clean, and I can let go of that anxiety from not being understood. And that's just one example. I do this all the time. I do it with loved ones. I do it with family. I do it with friends. I obviously do it now with neighbors. It doesn't matter what walk of life I'm in. Hell, it can happen. That shame and all of that. And yes, I've worked through, I love Brene Brown's work on shame. And Mel Robbins has done the let them, but then the follow-up to that is let me. And for me, let me is staying with myself. I'm learning how to do that. And so, yes, let them be whatever they're going to do, be, accept and understand and not like, but then let me let go of that and with peace. And my whole life, I've never been able to do that. And she helped me with that. So there's that. And then before I get that, I just want to say the goal is never to be isn't to never be misunderstood. The goal is to stop abandoning yourself in the gap. And I finally got it. Okay. And then so that's what it sounds like. And here's what it looks like. Pausing before over explaining. So like it's like and I've been working on that for years. The pausing to between the thought and the feeling and the action. A thought produces a feeling, okay? And if you can pause in between there, okay, I had that thought. What am I feeling? And capture that. And then between the feeling and the action, especially if it's going to cause you to like my neighbor to go 5 lots over and confront somebody because they have a small bird feeder. You have the thought, birds are bad, and it invokes a feeling. I'm borrowing. I have no idea what goes on with anybody, but I'm just making shit up. So birds are bad, and you have this feeling, I'm going to get rid of them. And then you have an action, and it's going to start with her bird feeder. So you see what I'm saying? Thoughts provoke feelings, feelings provoke action. And we need to learn to pause in between each one of those. And I've been working on that for a long time, and I still fairly suck at it, but I'm getting better. But on this, it was a good reminder. And then soothing your body instead of seeking permission for that's that whole permission to be understood, permission to be myself, permission to not be misunderstood, permission to feel that way because this is how I'm perceiving it and all of that. Self body soothing. There's a lot of techniques for that on how to control the breathing, the tension in wherever you hold your tension, shoulders, back, neck, stomach, wherever it might be. There's a lot of stuff on that we can all learn. And then letting a moment of disconnection to be a moment, not a full emotional collapse to where you go in fetal position and check out from the world. To me, that's full emotional collapse. And instead, hopefully as I practice these things, when stuff comes up and the bubbas side with each other, and one of them even called me a nothing burger. It's so painful. So painful, and it felt so scary, and I just, it's like, oh my god, I can't live here anymore. And I just, I mean, I wasn't going to act on that, but those are my IBSCs. Have y'all heard me say that before? My itty bitty shitty committees. They were taking over, and I wasn't going to go into a full emotional collapse, but I was having a hard time and have been having a hard time. And now work is in flux, and I've been having a hard time with that. But it's a moment of disconnection, and allow the loved ones in your life the same thing. They might be going through something to where they have a moment of disconnection, and just realize it's a moment. It doesn't need a full emotional collapse. So this little thing that Amy the life coach put up on Instagram was just an amazing life-changing thing for me. And let's see, I've already shared that one. And then the last one is, that's what emotional safety really is. It starts with how we respond to ourselves. It starts with how you respond to you. It starts with how I respond to me. And that's it. Once she did that whole package, I understood it. And I am, let me go ahead and take her name off. And so thank you, Amy, the life coach on Instagram, for taking the time to post that. And I made my last card. I made 3 note cards from that. I don't know if y'all can see that. But emotional safety starts with how you respond to you. Yeah, I love that. And so I hope that, I know this was a rather long morning coffee with Debra, and it's been a little bit since I've had a sip, so let me get another one. I'm going to go, I start to say water my birds. I'm going to go water my plants. I'm going to feed my birds. I feel emotionally safe to go outside my casita and do that, and I haven't felt that way in days. And I'll figure out what's wrong with my baby boy. He's still over there on his bed, but he's not relaxing. He's sitting up straight and real rigid. And so I'll get that taken care of. But I hope that you have a wonderful, beautiful, blessed day. And I'll see you on the next video, everybody. Have a good one.